Joins us live outside the Target downtown. It's one of the stores being closed. And Thunby, you talked with shoppers and businesses in the area. Are they surprised?
It was a mixed reaction. One small business tells us that shoplifting here is a real problem. Just across the street from Target is a small Japanese-owned business, and they tell us that they've literally had to chase people to get back their merchandise.
Well. Looky here. If it's not the consequences of our actions. Yes, Target is closing a bunch of their stores. But why is that happening? I just can't figure it out. There has to be a reason. And I hope in the next couple of minutes I'm going to be able to show you what that reason might be. I just don't know. These communities are going to be without a Target. A food desert, people will complain and whine and lie about. That's okay. That's okay. We'll make sure we keep doing the policies that totally didn't lead to this. We'll just continue on with that. And there's no way that could ever possibly come back to bite us.
Target announced that it will close 9 of its stores, including the one on 117th Street in Harlem. The stores will shutter for good on October 21st.
And as Fox 5's Arthur Chan reports, Target's blaming the closures on ongoing problems with theft and violence.
I just come out of there. I got me some eggs, some bananas, some avocados.
Anthony uses it for his groceries, and David is here for a birthday present.
I just bought a little something for my son, whose birthday is today.
Countless residents in East Harlem rely on this Target on East 117th Street, but now Target says it's closing this store in a matter of weeks, citing rampant shoplifting that threatens the safety of employees and customers.
Oh, rampant shoplifting that threatens customers and their staff. But why is that rampant shoplifting taking place? General lawlessness in the city? Sure. You can see a map where all these things are closing. And you're seeing them. They're liberal cities with very lax, let's just say, law enforcement policies. They will let people out, cashless bail, all this other stuff. Commit all the crimes you want. Don't worry, we're never going to prosecute. But it's worse than that. It's also because of Target themselves. They kind of made this happen. They're the ones that decided they weren't going to prosecute people, thus making them a bigger target. No pun intended.
They come here, they steal. And I told them, they're hurting the neighborhood.
This woman has worked at this Target location since it opened in 2010. She asked not to be identified, but shared with us her frustration with shoplifters who often come in mobs emptying shelves.
You know, think about that. She doesn't want to be identified because she knows this violent mob will come after her. A bunch of people who don't want to be identified stealing and robbing stores will come after a person who just wanted to go to work. Who are you hurting? Don't worry, the store has insurance, they used to say. Well, look what happened here. This woman is now hurt.
They thought they was being smart and everything, running in, running out. Just disrespectful to this store. You understand what I'm saying? They just disrespected the store to the tires. Now there's not going to be no more Target. Now.
You know, she's very upset, and she's right to be upset. There are a lot of people online who criticize people like her for caring so much about this job because it's not a high-paying job. It's a job where you don't make a lot of money. And they'd mock her, and they would say that, you know, she cares about something where they don't care about her. She cares about this job. It helps her live her life. And some people want to do that. Some people don't seek to destroy everything they possibly can if things aren't going well for them.
What they're going to do. Now what's going to happen to this neighborhood?
Surveillance videos like these routinely show brazen levels of criminal activity. Shoplifting on a large scale has become a national crisis, costing retailers over $112 billion in losses last year, according to a National Retail Federation survey.
Now, hold on one second. Now, it's a problem, no question about it. I wouldn't say it's a national crisis. It's a crisis in some of the larger cities, but I don't hear about this stuff happening in smaller cities. There's a reason why they're closing these stores where they're closing them, because there it is a crisis. Shoplifting is a crisis there, and they're closing some of these bigger cities where they're making more money than you'd make in, say, a small town like I live in, like Huntsville, Alabama, although not really a small town anymore, but they're able to operate stores at a profit, so they leave them open. That's as simple as this is. The theft is so bad that even in bigger cities, they cannot recoup the money, and they're starting to lose. That's as simple as it is. When are people going to figure this out? The people in this community are now screwed because of the bad guys.
Target's East Harlem store is one of 9 locations. It's closing nationwide, all for the same reason. Other locations include San Francisco, Portland, and Seattle.
We may see other stores closing locations too, specifically in those big metro areas where, the cost of rent is high. So it's really making a bigger impact on those stores.
Ah, yes, it's the cost of rent that's doing it. Sure. It's the rampant theft. Okay? We can try to hide this all we want. It's the rampant theft. Stop it.
CVS, the Rite Aids, they're all closing. These guys are shoplifting left and right, and it's horrible.
Not only is there a cost to this neighborhood, but this impacts all of the employees who work at this location. Target says they're going to try to absorb everybody into other Target stores. The residents here have some choice advice for shoplifters.
Get a job.
The lights will go out here permanently on October 21st at the Target in East River Plaza. Arthur Chuyen, Fox 5 News.
All right, so yeah, the lights will go out, and those people do not care about those employees. They don't give a damn about those employees. They never will care about those employees. What they want to do is get what they can get at that particular moment into hell with everybody else. That's how they feel. And there's no other way to put it. That is exactly how they feel about other human beings. They're callous, they're uncaring, they're monsters. And to show you what a mess this actually is, take a look at this video. Another local news story about the closing of these Targets. And look what happens with this reporter. Look what she explains went down.
So me and my photojournalist and I, we were walking just back from our assignment at Target. We were across the street at the Walgreens when we noticed in the parking lot there was a man keeled over, very discolored in the face, non-responsive, barely breathing. So we realized very quickly that this man was overdosing. So I called 911 and we rushed into the Walgreens and got over-the-counter Narcan, and I administered it, Greg.
As far as you know, he's okay?
Yeah, so at the same time where I was administering it, we noticed the color kind of coming back into his face within seconds, and the medics got there kind of all in that same moment, and he was in good hands, and thankfully he survived.
Rampant drug use and overdoses taking place in front of news crews that they're covering in their stories. That's Seattle, so you're having a problem there, so New York and Seattle. Open drug use, open lawlessness, open chaos. That's what's happening here. And you wonder, is it ever going to stop? I don't think so. Almost on cue to all of this, we see scenes like this. We see scenes like this and what's happening right here. People screaming at the top of their lungs. Now, you're having a hard time hearing this, I'm going to turn it down. But I want you to look at this. Look at the chaos here. These are individuals fighting with people trying to bust into an iPhone store. They bust into this iPhone store. They bust into a Target in that exact same area, almost if on cue, like I said. And why? Because they can. They know nothing's going to happen. Yeah, you see flashing lights there. None of these people fear being arrested. None of them. None of them fear being arrested. They're all on camera. The people are there jumping up and down. They're excited. They're happy. They're seeing this happen. They're smiling. They just don't care. Stealing whatever they can. And you can't do anything with all this stuff. They're going to turn it off instantly. You're not going to be able to use it or sell it. You're not going to be able to do anything. Look at this guy. Oh, look at all these phones I have. Oh, they're turned off. And you're probably being tracked. So what do they do with them? Look at this person talking. Thrilled to cameras. Here's some cops. They can't do anything about all of this. They can chase them off. But look at all this destruction. Lululemon, that's another one. They said they're not going to call the cops. All of this chaos being created because in our country, we don't care anymore. We just let people go nuts. There's a Target being looted as well. This is all happening in Philadelphia over some nonsense where people are upset that law enforcement did their job. The way you handle that is you go out and you say, okay, we're going to protest. You don't loot stores that are already going to close. Gee, why is this happening? Oh, look, the consequences of our own actions. There's politicians that are responsible for this. That's who should be paying the penalty to all of this. Politicians, not the people living in the community. A majority of the people that live in these communities don't want their communities treated like this. They don't want to live in these worlds. They want to live in a world where they can go to the grocery store and it not be a massive problem or a crime scene. But in these places, these people are now going to lose their grocery stores. People are going to lose their jobs. It's not the fault of these big businesses. It's the fault of the people that live in these communities and the people that they elect. These are the consequences of your action.